Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I wanted to come in and run my mouth and talk about love and marriage Huntsville. Now, listen, I'm not going to go scene by scene. Um, I think this is a good episode. However, I do feel like some of the conversations that were being had amongst, like between Kimmy and Maurice, Tisha and Marceau, I just felt like it was kind of like regurgitating some of the things that we've already spoken about. Um, like you hear one conversation, then you hear the other person having the same conversation. They're just giving their take on the same topic, you know. So, anyways, um, the girls are still on this trip. Girl. The reason why this trip seems so long is because they ended the season with them on the trip, and they started the new season with them on this trip. So it just feels like a very unnecessary trip, right? Because it literally went from season to season. Anyways, they all dressed in white. They all look nice. You know, black people do look good in white. I'm not a big white person because because as soon as something drop on your clothes, it's a wrap for me. I want to go home. Right? So I'm not a big. I don't really own anything white in my closet, but I do think black people look good in white. Um, they're going around and basically, I'm not gonna lie, they were being fake. The trip was so wonderful. We had a good time. Blah blah blah. You know how we do. We fake sometimes. Destiny was not here for it. So this is the thing that I have to say about Destiny. Destiny feels some type of way because Nell was asking Sunny about like whether she has kids or something like that. I honestly don't think that Nell was being malicious in her conversation. I just think it was one of those things where we're on this boat, we're just talking. Hey, girl, you got kids? Destiny feels like as a woman, y'all love that as a man, as a woman. Um, I guess you should have been more aware of what you said. Destiny is going to have to get to a point because this is just a fact, okay? Sonny and Moses are probably not going anywhere. They say Moses is locked up. So you think Carlos is about to let that storyline go? No. So whenever they start filming the new season, the next season, whenever, if Moses is still in jail, if he got out of, girl, you best believe, girl, he gonna be mic'd up and a camera gonna be in their face. So I think Destiny's gonna have to let it go that Moses and Sonny, um, they're gonna be around, right? And I heard that Sonny is supposedly pregnant too. I think any conversation that involves Sonny and Moses is going to affect Destiny's mood. I don't care what the conversation is about. It could be about them having kids. It could be about them starting a restaurant. It could be about them going to Miami for the weekend. Anytime Sonny and Moses' name or is mentioned, Destiny's attitude will change. Um, it's going to be hard at the end of the day. Like, yes, these were Destiny's friends technically, I guess, before Sonny and Moses, but it is going to be hard for them to move with Sonny and Moses in the cast. What's going to be hard for Destiny and expect for these cast members not to just even have just simple conversations. Hey girl, how you doing? Oh, excuse me. Hey girl, how you doing? Hey Moses, how you doing? Like, I think Destiny expects them just not to talk to them, and that's not the way this is going to work. So either Destiny is going to have to remove herself from the equation, which means she's removing herself from the show, or she's going to have to learn to adapt to the change that's happening. And that's more than likely, again, Sonny and Moses staying around. I just don't see Carlos letting that storyline go, especially if the rumors are true about Moses being in jail, was in jail, Sonny supposedly being pregnant. It's going to be hard for the cast to like tiptoe around Destiny's feelings because Sonny and Moses are that girl. We gonna have to talk to him. I don't know what you want us to do. Take it up with your boss, okay? Um, I do believe that Sonny is not necessary. Destiny wants Sonny to admit that her and Destiny were friends, and basically, you screwed my man, X man. Sonny is never going to admit that. I think those of us who have watched the show, we have come to, some of us, probably not all of us, have come to our own opinion that Sonny is trifling and Moses is trifling. And yes, Sonny, there was a friendship there. Sonny ain't gonna never say it. Destiny gonna have to let it go. It is what it is. Um, Shanita tries to interrupt Destiny as she's speaking. I'm glad Destiny told her girl. I know you know. I'm talking, girl. Did y'all hear when Letitia called Shanita a man? Girl. Marceau and Tisha were talking about the trip, and she said that Shanita looked like a man, baby. That's what she said. Kimmy doesn't do girl trips. I mean, listen, this is how I look at it. I thought Kimmy looked very gorgeous in the backyard when her hair was pulled up. I said, "Oh, Kimmy looks so pretty." Anyways, but I do think it's weird that Kimmy, who has never been on a girls' trip, has these negative thoughts about girls' trip, being that she's never been on one. However, the fact of the matter is, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, it may not be a fact. Every trip that y'all have taken as a group, a couple's trip, has ended in a fight, some mess, some drama. So for her to only have these thoughts about hanging out with women on a girls' trip, I guess because of what people say, how women act. Um, but being that every couple's trip that I can remember them going on has been a mess, I think is actually kind of comical. I think the difference between girls' trips and men and the trips, the boy trips, is that girl, the last boy trip, if we're gonna be honest about it, the last boy trip that I remember them taking, it was a picture of all y'all men together, and they say Ariane took the picture. So while the girls might be over here fussing and cussing, y'all niggas are here fucking bitches and linebackers. Ain't that what they said? Then they say Ariane took a picture of all the men. Wasn't it like Marceau, Maurice, I think Martell? Didn't they say that a couple of seasons ago? Yeah, it ain't gonna be no fussing and cussing on a men's trip because they all doing dirt. And they all trying to make sure that when they get back home, girl, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in Miami stays in Miami. What happens in New York stays in New York. What happens in LA stays in LA. What happens in Dallas stays in Dallas. What happens in Houston stays in Houston. Latricia and Ken, I'm not gonna really spend too much time on Latricia and Ken right now because we're gonna get into Latricia, Ken, and Marceau, not Marceau, Marquez, baby, we got to get into it. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on them right now because that's really what we down here to talk about. But basically, they go out shopping. They pretty much don't like what people are saying about them. Ken feels the need to try to protect Latricia, even though Ken needs to realize that Latricia is a part of the problem. People are saying what they're saying about Latricia, but Latricia has also not um, helped with the image that people have or the thoughts that people have about Martell and Latricia. Let me just say something. People think that Martell and Latricia had sex because Martell is probably the most fit, probably has the best body on the show. He doesn't need to get in contact with Latricia in order to help him get his body together. He already knows what to do. So for Latricia to play this game of, oh, he invited me over to his home so we could work out, girl, like I know you're not that naive. No, he invited you to your home to his home because he wanted to fuck. He doesn't need your assistance in getting his body together. Especially not 4 or 5 years. Whenever y'all met up, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know. Anyways, um, so one of the things, what did Letitia and Marcel talk about? They really didn't talk about nothing. He did say that he can understand why Mel has in her head that Destiny and Martell could have had sex because Martell likes to say things, which is true. Martell does say those little things like, oh, Law looks just like me, or Law looks like me. So when you're dealing with your ex-husband who, was a whore, now it's kind of like, girl, he could be out here doing something to anybody with anybody. Um, Girl, let's get into this mess because this is what I want to talk about. Latricia, Ken, and Marquez. Is it Marquez or Marquise? Girl, I don't be knowing these people names. I think it's Marquise. I think it's Marquise. Yeah. Let me start off by saying this. I really do try and put myself in the shoes of other people. Not everybody, but some people I do. I can understand how it could be difficult for Marquez. Girl, if I say Marquez or Marquise, it's the same person. Um, I can understand how it could be difficult for Marquise and Latricia to get a divorce. They are high school sweethearts. They have been together, were together since high school. They're now in their 30s. They had kids together. So I can see how it could be a tad bit difficult to kind of like go through with the final girl, this is the end of it. I also think that there are people out there who don't care about officially getting a divorce. Like we ain't together. Yeah, we still married, but we're not together. Y'all know it's people like some of y'all, no shade. Y'all still married, but it ain't like you and your man, you and your husband are together. We just ain't never just went through with the divorce. Um, so I do, like I said, you have to take into account that these are two people who have been together since high school, and now they're in their 30s. I'm assuming their 30s. Um, have kids together, what, 2 or 3 kids, I believe, 2 kids. Um, I'll start out with this with with Latricia and Ken. I do not believe that Ken and Latricia were as innocent as they are trying to paint. I believe that Marceau clocked their tea at Kimmy's taste testing thingamajig she had. I do believe that if it was as innocent as they tried to portray, there would have been no need for them to stop talking anytime. I guess Latricia and Marquise would try and work things out, or he would come back into the picture. If it was really a friendly conversation, two people hanging out at the gym, when I saw them at the gym, there would be no reason for me to pull back because there's nothing there. There's no there. You pulled back because you probably either liked her, there was some flirting going on, something was happening. Now, I'm not saying it was sex, but I'm saying it was something for Ken. Remember, Ken said he would pull back because it was something there. So, in that, I do believe that Marquise is correct. Like, it wasn't necessarily probably sex, but it was something going on. Um, I believe that Marquise is an ain't shit nigga. I believe that he, let me start off by saying this. I don't give a damn if you a man, woman, non-binary. I don't care what relationship you in, how you identify. I don't believe that anybody should stay in a relationship, marriage, if they are not truly happy, even if you got kids. I believe everyone in a relationship should be happy. If you're not happy, I think you should leave the relationship. But I'm a happy type of person. My goal in life is to be happy. When I take my last three breaths, and then I'm going to glory. I need to be like, girl, I really was happy with the life that I lived. So I'm on a whole different. Um, I think Marquise, Marquise. I think that he's an ain't shit nigga though. I think that he did leave his family. And I think that he thought that LATRICIA was going to be down and out. And she was going to beg him to come home and beg him to be with his family. And LATRICIA found them kids a stepdaddy, nickel. And it sounds like she found her a good man. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Just because you get a divorce, just because you're in a relationship, that has nothing to do with you being a father to your kids, unless you are in one of those situations with your baby mama where your baby mama is just a mess and she is doing everything in her, but I'm going to acknowledge that yes, there are situations out there where you do have women who do make it hard for some of these men to have relationships with their kids. However, I don't think that's a lot of them. I think a lot of these men, whenever the relationship is over, the relationship is over with the kids too. Just like Latricia said, and he did not deny it, I have never stopped you from seeing your kids. You left you left Trisha, and you also left your kids. If you want to be a father to your kids, you will be a father to your kids. It ain't got shit to do with Ken. You're putting it on Ken. When the truth of the matter is, you ought to be grateful that Ken is there. He has a problem with Ken basically being the father that he never was. Ken is over there doing the job that Marquez should be doing. He is taking your son out of the country. He is buying your son a car. He is taking care of your daughter. I think even went to a daughter dance or something like that with your daughter, right? And you have a problem with Ken. I don't think that Ken is trying to take his place. Ken told him that. However, do I believe that one time they got into an argument, Ken told him what Marquez say Ken told him? Basically, I'm your kid's new daddy. I can see when you in an argument with I'm not gonna lie. I can see how when you get into an argument with somebody and you know that soft spot is bitch, I'm your kid's new daddy. I can see Ken saying some shit like that. And Ken already let us know that girl, I'm nice, but girl, when I mean, I mean. Right? I could be fair. I could believe Ken said some slick shit like that to Marquez. Um, but I don't think it has anything to do with Marquez being a father. If you want to be a father to your kids, be a father to your kids. You have this one-sided beef with Ken. While I believe that's a couple of the things Marquez has said, yes, I don't think that is enough for him to feel the way that he feels. Because if it really is truly about the kids, if it really and truly is about the kids and it's not about y'all, then you don't have a fucking problem with Ken. If it's really and truly about the kids and it's not about what's going on with y'all, then you don't have a fucking problem with Ken. And that's just what it is. Ken is over there taking care of business. You can have two sides to you. You could be a nice person and you could be an evil person, right? What I'm saying is this. The stories that Marquez has heard about Ken, you have not heard your kids say anything negative about Ken. I remember even on the show, I think the son saying that this is the most that his mother has smiled. That right there should show you what type of person Ken is. See, the problem is with people, I'm about to say something that's about to piss y'all off. The problem with people is when y'all get into these relationships and you break up and you say, I want to meet the person and see who around my kids. You really don't care. You're just trying to have some control over this person's relationship. Because at the end of the day, regardless if you don't like that person or not, their relationship is not going to come to an end. How many people, how many women out there right now go through baby mama drama because they don't get along with the baby mama or the baby mama don't get along with them? At the end of the day, even if you meet that person and you don't like that person, they still not going to end their relationship. What you need to be concentrating on is how that person treats your kids. That's it. Now, of course, you'll eventually want to meet that person one day. But Marquez wanting to meet Ken, I just want to see what man around my. You know the man who around your kids, the man who buying your son a car, the man who's taking your daughter to daughter daddy dance, whatever. The man who's taking your kids out of the country, the man who's playing basketball with your nephews. That's the type of man that's around your kids. When you have conversation with your kids, if your kids are like, we love Mr. Ken, we love Mr. Ken, then girl, that's where it stops for me. Now, when you run into Mr. Ken, hey, Ken, how you doing? Thank you, blah, 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 blah. You need to be thanking that man. That's what Marquez needs to be doing. But his ego is hurt, his pride is hurt. Because, again, this man has stepped in and did his job. And then he wants to fucking complain about not being in the picture. Ain't nobody stopping you from being a daddy. You not being a daddy because you just don't want to be a daddy. You think that you're hurting LATRICIA by not being a father, but you're really hurting your kids. And guess what? You not in the picture, but another nigga is. And his name is Ken, nigga. You're not hurting LATRICIA. If anything, you're hurting your children. You thought she was going to leave LATRICIA and she was going to be over there, her edges gone, stressed out with them kids. And LATRICIA went and got her body together and found her a nigga. Ooh. Ken tells him, I'm not trying to take your place. I'm just trying to assist you in making sure these kids get the love and affection. If they get it from all three of us, it makes it great. When I tell you, I started crying. Well, I started crying. I did. I did. Because I'm about to, oh, girl, you better not start crying. Oh, you better not start crying. I'm such a crybaby. The reason why I got emotional is because I really never see niggas talk like this on TV. So to see Ken, this big black nigga, really telling him like at the end of the day, because y'all really be on some it takes a village until it's another nigga who's stepping in, who's a part of the village. If it's about the kids and I'm not trying to be their father, you're their father, she's their mother. If I'm also a part of the village, then that's even better. Because now not only is y'all two, it's me too. So you can't even be mad at that. And him telling Marquez, if I can give the love and affection to your kids and assist you in this journey with your kids, then girl, that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters. I can't make my household comfortable if I got beef with you. How I'm gonna be in here trying to help raise your kids when I'm beefing with their daddy? Girl. He told him it shouldn't have never gotten to a point where you were absent. I'm glad he told him that. I think that Ken was trying to show love and grace to Marquez, but he was also holding him accountable. It should have never gotten to the point where you were not in your children's lives. If you were in your child's life, you will never have to worry about thinking that I'm trying to come into your place. I can't take your place because you they daddy. However, how and ever, it appears that I have because you not in the motherfucking picture, nigga. Um, if you see all the stuff that I'm doing that shows you who I am right there, that's what I'm saying. I think it would be one thing if the kids were going to Marquez saying, we hate him, we can't stand him. Then I think that would be a conversation, definitely. But I'm spitting all in y'all face. But if Ken is doing all of these awesome things and the kids are going around saying that, or the son is saying that this is the most we've seen our mother smile, and the kids have nothing negative to say about Ken, then girl, that goes to show you who he is. And when you want to meet and when you decide to meet him, right, it should be, I need to meet this man to thank him for stepping in and doing something that I dropped the ball on doing. You want to meet him so you can try to size him up. That'd be a lot of the shit to be, I hate to say it. I feel like that's a lot of the shit that happens in relationships with men and women. Those who have people who have kids, men, women, gay, straight, non-binary. People have you just want to meet the other person to size them up. It ain't got nothing to do with the kids and how they're treating your kids when that should be the focus. Um, then he says that we got to figure out this ASAP. Marquez, we don't have to figure out shit. You have to figure it out because we figured it out. We figured it out. You are still on this. We need to figure this out. No, no, no. You need to go to therapy, just like Ken told him. It's okay. I had to go to therapy too. You need to go to therapy and work on whatever you need to work on because there's nothing to figure out. It's already figured out. You still have whatever issues you have. I don't have an issue with you. You have an issue with me. Baby, he started crying. He pulled out the divorce papers. Baby, he started crying. When I tell you, bitch, girl, when LATRICIA signed them papers and he started crying, and LATRICIA's, hey, bitch. So he pulled out the divorce papers from his jacket and was like, here go the divorce papers. LATRICIA was not moved by his tears. She said that, girl, he do this shit all the time. He cry, girl, and nothing changes. So when he started crying, LATRICIA signing the divorce papers. Girl, when LATRICIA got that napkin and started wiping off the counter, I was hollering, girl, here she go, girl, this nigga crying this shit, girl. She said she wasn't moved by his tears because he does this shit all the time. When I tell her Trisha was not moved by Marquez crying, I do believe, I will say this much. I do believe, even though she knows her husband, I don't, or ex-husband, whatever. I do believe that um, Marquez was probably, I think it probably, like a light bulb finally probably went off, like, oh shit. Girl, like this, because we've been playing this two-step with this divorce for the last 5 years, right? And now you sitting across from me kind of stoic. I'm crying and you just like, girl, the fuck about this nigga crying. You just sounded. I think at that point, Marquez probably realized like the divorce is like this shit is really happening. Yes, sister. Yeah, girl, it's happening. She don't give a fuck about you no more because she got her new man, and he seems like a kind, decent man. Ken tells him that basically, you know, Ken was very, very. I will say this much. I like the fact that Ken did try to interrupt a couple of times, and LATRICIA was like, no, 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 let me finish. Because the truth of the matter is, Ken only knows whatever LATRICIA told him, and LATRICIA doesn't have the best track record with the truth. Are we telling the story? Okay. But I did like the fact that Ken kind of just let whatever needed to be said between Latricia and Marquez. But he also told Marquise, whatever girl, that if he ever needed something to call him. I do believe that Ken may be a nice person. I do believe that Ken could be one of the decent men. I do believe that. You know, girl, I do, girl. You know my list is short. We're not gonna put Ken on my list right now. You know, I got a list, but so far so good. Ken, like I said, I think Ken and Latricia have some question marks beside their name. I don't think anybody is perfect, but I think for the most part, Ken gives me like a good, like he's a good man, Savannah. He does. Um, and I think that that's more of what we need to see on reality TV. I think seeing men like Ken is like it's far in between, girl. It's like you see him once every blue moon. Most of the time, when we see the representation of black men on TV, it be piss poor, and that's because these niggas decide to show up on TV that way, and that's just what it is. So when you see someone like Ken, when you see the Dr. Eugenes, it is like shocking in a way because you don't see that image too often on TV. Yes, they decide to sometimes show the worst image of us black men, but it doesn't take away from the responsibility that y'all niggas still choose to show up on TV the way that y'all choose to show up. So shout out to Ken. Latricia, bitch, you got you a good one. If you don't want him, I'll take him. I don't even want no nigga. Okay. Um, but yeah, he basically tells Marquise that, you know, I'm here for you if you need something. Girl, Latricia was over. She didn't give a fuck. Latricia signed those papers and she got her shit and left. Yeah, that was it. I think Marquise, he got some growing up to do. And your kid is about to graduate from high school. And you're absent. You're an absentee father because you're an absentee father. And and as much as you know that you were, he's not gonna say it because ain't what nigga gonna get on TV and be like, yeah, I was absent. Yeah, I was absent, right? You don't want to take responsibility over the fact that you were absent. You've been absent. Your problem is that a nigga stepped in and did your job. That's what his problem is. And so whatever beef, whatever issues he has with Ken, while yes, I do believe that Ken and Latricia, they were not necessarily truthful about the feelings that Ken probably had for Latricia. It does not take away from the fact that you and Latricia were not together. Y'all were not together. Well, no, they weren't together. I don't know. They weren't together. But it does, I guess, I don't know, because then when they say shit like, girl, remember when Ken said when he would come back into the picture? So I don't know if that means that they were trying to work it out or not. Look, at the end of the day, I'm Team Ken, okay? And that's just what it is. And y'all know I don't get these niggas. You know, girl, I be on these niggas' necks. So for me to be Team Ken, hello. Anyways, that's it. Marquez, get your shit together. You a mess. You been a mess. It ain't Latricia's fault. Latricia ain't never tried to keep you away from your kids. You left Latricia and you thought Latricia was gonna be bald headed, edges gone, and stressed out, and she didn't. All right, bye y'all.